Armorpoxy Crack Repair Kit. So we have parts A and part B here. I'm going to be using this to patch all the cracks and divots on the garage floor. I have the whole kit, the crack repair, and I have the primer, the base coat, and top coat. So this is going to be step one, to fill in all these big, from where the partitions were built in here. This home was a model home, so of course the garage is always the office, and you can see right here where the partition was built when they had the office for the model. So there's just several little divots around from the nail pops along the edge. And there you can see some at the garage door. And then some minor cracking right here. Nothing major. So I'm going to fill all those in with the crack repair kit. To give the surface a nice smooth finish. Not that I'm that concerned about it, but some of those nail pops were pretty big, and hopefully this will be a once in a lifetime event. Do it right the first time, and hopefully it'll be there for a long time. So what I did already was this floor had been painted with cheap paint, so I went to Home Depot. I rented a floor polisher with the grind pad. It has the diamond bits underneath it, and I used that to get the paint off. It worked really well. It took about 3.5–4 hours to complete that process. And then there's an acid etch that came with this Armorpoxy kit. I acid washed everything, high pressure washed it, and it's been drying like this for about 2 weeks. The weather has not been cooperating. It's been quite rainy. The last 2 days there's been no rain, and it's quite nice out right now. So I figured I'll give it a go with the crack repair kit. And if I look at my little temperature and humidity gauge, you can see it's 38% humidity in here and 77 degrees, which for this application, that is more than good. I think the primer and the top coat call for less than 75% humidity, so we're good. So I'll go ahead and get the crack repair started, and then when I finish with that, I'll come back and let you see the results. Here we go. First batch is down, and learning, of course, as I go. What I find that the more you smooth it out, or try to smooth it out, it'll pull the product back out of the crack or the divot. So, you know, I've been wiping it in and trying to get it as smooth as possible, and then just leave it without fiddling with it a whole bunch. So I got about, I don't know, almost half of the garage patched around the perimeter and the little baby crack. So what I have here is part A and part B, and I have my measuring bucket, and I do 4 ounces of part A and then 4 ounces of part B. Then I mix it really well, and I spread it out. So I'll continue on with that and finish up the rest of the garage. After 3 batches of the crack repair kit, you can see I have, I would say, darn near a 1-to-1 ratio of product used in each can. So I think my method worked with the little bucket here of 4 ounces each time I mixed. So it was 3 times, and I did that 4 ounces of each part A and part B, and I got everything patched that I wanted to. Let's see if I can get a close up. These were the worst divots in the floor right here, and you know, once it's covered with the primer and then the top coat or the base and then the flex, you're never going to see the imperfections. But I wanted to have the holes filled with something. And over here at the door, this was probably the worst spot, and it's not going to come through on camera. There was a pretty big void. It's probably 1.5 inches wide by, I don't know, 1/2 inch, maybe 3/8 deep at the deepest point at the very corner of that door. But it filled in nicely. We'll just see how it goes with the drying. I'm sure it'll take a while. There you get a better view of what it looks like. I'm happy with the way it turned out. It certainly filled in where I needed it to fill in. The epoxy is, of course, very, very, very thick. It's like spreading a thick peanut butter on the floor, but it's also very sticky and messy. But it's done, and then the next part, of course, will be to put the primer down. And to do that, I got the roller covers in the roller here. This is the booster roller cover, or roller, and then the roller cover. This is what was being sold on the Armorpoxy website, the Booster Epoxy Glide. They only had the 9-inch wide covers, so I went online on eBay and purchased 3 of these, and these will be for the primer, base, and then clear. Got 3 of those. And then just to show you the kit, the full kit itself, there's the kit with everything. The blue is the primer, and then the red is the top coat, or the clear that will go over top. And then the small can right there and right there, that is the anti-skid metal ultra wear. And then of course the Armorclad, which is the epoxy coating. Parts A and Part B. And then the bucket to mix Part A and Part B in. This bucket is just empty. It's a mixing bucket. And then finally, we have the flakes. So the primer goes down first, blue. Primer goes first, and then we do the Armorclad, part A and part B. Primer has to dry. Once the primer's dry, you put down the Armorclad. When that is still wet, that's when you spread your flex. So you put down a little bit of the Armorclad, and they call it feeding the chickens, where you spread your flex, let it dry, and then the last is the Armorultra Topcoat. So we're on our way. I think the next week is going to be a no-go for putting the primer down because it's going to rain and the temps are going to be up in the 90s. So that's too hot. So I'll wait till next weekend to finish up. But we're on our way. And one more thing before I leave is just wanted to capture the temp and the humidity. So 79 degrees and 37% humidity inside here, inside the room. So I just wanted to capture that.